Hello everybody, it's jrobichess. Candidates 2014 ended as predicted with Anand the outright winner. However, I didn't upload the videos of the last rounds until today, the last day of competition, because I was struggling with what, to me at least, was the most memorable part of this tournament. First, let me not only say but congratulate the assassin Anand. Like, wow, unbelievable. There was absolutely no commentators, chess enthusiasts, or fellow grandmasters that thought Anand would do what he has done at Canada's 2014. And unless you are an Anand fan, which I count myself as one after covering his 2010 World Chess Championship versus Topalov, chances are you thought that the likelihood of an Anand victory was almost negligible. His performance leading up to the tournament was shaky. But even though he's getting older, his first game versus Aronian set the stage for what would become a legendary performance. There's no question. Anand played the most solid, consistent, and strongest chess of anyone at Canada's 2014. He's the only competitor not to lose a game. He had strong victories against opponents like Aronian, and and through his hard work and determination, he was undoubtedly earned the right to challenge Magnus Carlsen in the next World Chess Championships. However, to me, I struggled with what memories I'll be taking away from the tournament. For the long term, when thinking back on it, because there's another major story here, another major tale that came out of this tournament, especially to me, and that was the play of Mr. Karjakin. From his impressive victories over the board, including today's win against the world's second highest rated chess player Aronian, with the black pieces, there is no doubt we're seeing the rise of Mr. Karjakin. And I'll never forget his move in round 8 against Mr. Spidler. The chess commentators and armchair analysts around the world were stunned by the winning move he played that even the strongest computers couldn't see. And Mr. Karjakin displays a level of ingenuity and creativity that is not only refreshing, but it's a characteristic of some of the game's greatest players of all time. Now, of course, Mr. Karjakin has much left to show, but if he continues on this path, I have no doubt that he will someday challenge the reigning world chess champion, whoever that might be, for the greatest achievement of all, of course, the World Chess Championship title holder. And I thought it only fitting to take a look today in this video at his win over Mr. Aronian. It was, in fact, today's only decisive game, and it also made Mr. Karjakin the clear second place winner, which gained him not only the prestige of that in a strong competition, but also a nice chunk of change on the side. So now Mr. Karjakin had a challenge today, though. He was playing black against Mr. Aronian. But he would fight all game to try and find the path to victory, and he did. It was a very long game with a lot of time-orientated moves. So we're going to start from this position when Mr. Karjakin began to press hard for the win here. So Mr. Aronian had just played rook over to d1, and Mr. Karjakin basically starts to bring his queen into the game a little bit better. Before, the queen was tied down a lot with the defense of the position, but Mr. Karjakin is basically bringing the queen out in a much more aggressive fashion and starting to get some threats into the position. So right now the queen's eyeing up f2. Mr. Aronian replies by playing queen over now to g3, and Karjakin brings the rook up to a very active square on f4. From here now, Aronian swings his rook over to h1, and Mr. Karjakin attacks the bishop here on e2. Now this isn't this is obviously a threat, but instead of worrying too much about it right away, Mr. Aronian plays queen over now to h2. And unfortunately, that bishop, if it were to be taken, well, that's just game over. It'd be checkmate in 2 moves, basically. So that's not a good move at all. So Mr. Aronian meets the threat. And but that doesn't phase Karjakin. He's still working towards building up pressure in the position. He covers his pawn there on h6, puts the rook back down to f6. You'll notice that the queen is still there on c2, perched to attack that bishop. That's got to be taken care of. And Aronian defends the bishop by playing rook over now to e1. And Karjakin plays queen over to d2. So now he's attacking the rook and also the bishop. So Mr. Aronian has to do something about that. He plays king over now to f1. And from here now, Karjakin brings his rook back into the action, swings it up to f4. This rook, obviously has some potential squares here like h4 in the future. From here now, Aronian attacks the queen. Queen falls back to c3, and we always got to be keeping an eye on the influence of this bishop. I know sometimes when I work on chess tactics or watch videos, sometimes I get so focused on the central action, a little bit of tunnel vision there. We got to keep an eye on this bishop here, and you'll see some definite threats that this bishop has going on here, especially when we factor in things like pins and things like that. From here, king goes back now to g2. And the queen goes now to b2, so we're attacking that bishop again. Constant pressure here from Karjakin on Aronian. Aronian's got to meet these threats all the time. Aronian brings the rook back to h1. So once again, we're in the same type of structure here, threatening checkmate. So Karjakin, instead of dropping the rook back to f6 now, decides, you know what, let's get the rook onto an even more active square, h4, attacking the queen. Queen falls back, and boom. Now Karjakin's going to get to play the game that he wants to play. He's going to get to be able to play a nice, sharp, tactical, aggressive game and see what Aronian can do to come up with meeting all these threats. Obviously, Aronian has to capture that rook back. There's no question about that. So he does. Takes it with the king. And the bishop falls now on e2. And, you know, just a beautiful, beautiful way to capitalize on the position, getting that piece off of the table. And from here, really, you know, there's not really much left here for Aronian in this position. He tries to hold for a little while, but once we get to around about here, he's going to have to trade the queens off the table, and then it's pretty much game over, because that light square bishop is just going to be a thorn in the side for white all the way till the end. And I think we get to about this position here when the game officially ended, and really after here, there's nothing that white can do to hold the position, because after it takes a bishop, promotion, and then everything that white tries to do is just blocked by the black queen there. And in the process, the queen just snags up material, continuously hits threats, and it's just going to trade itself off. And then the only person with the pawn left on the table and the king in front of the pawn is Mr. Karjakin. So it was a beautiful, beautiful game. It's hard to really pinpoint where Aronian went wrong positionally. There was a couple moves back earlier in the game, but if you go through it with your own engines, you'll see that the relative strength of the position, it fluctuated a lot. I think that there was a move. Let me see if I can find it here. When Mr. Aronian played, he played a4 with his pawn, and that really hurt his position because that let the rooks get into the action. Here, let me just see if I can know. Okay, so it was before here. Let's see, right about here. Yeah, this move here was probably one of the more questionable moves that Mr. Aronian played, because after pushing the pawn to a4, it just weakened the position a lot. And there was some opportunities that he had here to actually trade the queens off and get his pawns undoubled here. That probably would have helped. But I think that what we got to really focus on here in this game is that both of these players were playing for a win today. They both wanted to get that second place. So I think that in a lot of ways, coming out with a draw here probably wasn't the most viable option to them, especially Karjakin. Like, you could tell when he was playing a lot of the time control moves, he was definitely looking to find a weakness in the position, and he did. Like, I mean, as soon as he got his queen active into the position, and then played that very nice move with the rook over to h4 and got the rooks off the table, there was just so much going on here throughout the game. There was many moments in the game where this bishop actually could have taken the pawn because of a pin on this pawn when the queen was back here, and it could have taken the bishop there. There's a lot of dynamics to the position that all throughout the game. So I definitely recommend that you take a look at it. But I think just coming out of it and to wrap the series up, I just wanted to focus on how he achieved that in the end position there. And I was just so impressed with his play all throughout the tournament, and Anand as well. Like, I mean, there's no doubt this tournament is all about Anand and his ability now to challenge Magnus Carlsen. And I think that that's going to be a very, very interesting series. I know that the first series that they had, I wasn't doing videos at the time, nor was I even really following it. And you know, from what I've heard and from a lot of people, and even seen from some of the things that I have seen, it was a rather boring match that those two guys had, and Carlsen pretty much wiped the floor with them. But I think that if Anand, I think what Anand has shown at Canada's 2014 is a couple things. I think he's definitely more fit than he was before. Like, I remember when I was covering in the 2010 World Chess Championship, he was not as fit and sharp as he is in Canada's 2014. So I think that Anand's going to be coming into the next World Chess Championship match a different person. He's going to be coming in knowing that it's probably going to be his last time to make a challenge for the World Chess Championship, and I think we're going to see a leaner, meaner, more aggressive Anand, and not so much of a. I don't think we're going to see as many stodgy defenses as I've heard was played in the last World Chess Championship between the two. So, but I think overall, coming out of it, obviously Anand deserves credit completely for winning the tournament. But I think that the kind of diamond in the rough here is Karjakin, and I'm actually pretty excited to see what he can do as the years go by here, and what kind of progress he can make in the chess world, because he's beaten some. Well, he's beaten top level candidates now. Like, I mean, he's beaten Aronian. He's beaten Fiddler. His victories were creative. They were decisive, and they were aggressive. He's a very, very interesting guy to keep your eye on as chess moves on. So take care. Thanks for watching the series. I appreciated doing it. And it's been a while since I've covered anything in the chess world, so this was kind of like I wanted to do this to get back into the swing of things here, because I'll be doing the upcoming Anand versus Carlsen World Chess Championships. And I'm really excited about that, actually. And doing this series here for Canada's 2014, as large of a tournament as it is, helped me remember just how much goes into keeping track and going through a chess tournament. And I'm really excited about that one. I'm actually thinking I might start doing World Chess Championship coverage even before it gets started. If I have things come out, little news bits or items about what the players are doing for preparation, or what their teams are looking like for helping them prepare, I might just start the series early and kind of ramp up as we get closer to the event taking place. So take care. Thanks for watching the video, and we will see you next time.